The Mount Moon Review podcast, while a podcast about Pokemon, is not intended for children. You can expect some instances of adult humor, coarse language, and adult situations. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of the Mount Moon Review podcast, the only podcast that the Blue Duck makes Razgrees get out of bed and record even when he's on death's doorstep. I am your host, the Razgrees, with my co-host, the Blue Duck Gold Duck, bringing you everything you need to know about the world of Pokemon that happened in the last week, in this case, week plus, 3 days, in about an hour. So, you already know how I've been just by that intro. Duck, how have you been?
I've been great.
I hate you.
I'm chipper, working as always.
You
Got a haircut.
I see that, but you suck. I just want you to know that.
I can breathe.
My lungs are full.
So not a good week for you then?
No. That was not planned. That was not for comedic timing. So on Saturday, I drove into the city, and with family, we saw the new My Hero Academia movie. Excellent flick. Excellent flick. Please go see it if you're a fan of the series. It's kids had a good time. Theater was awesome. My kid intern got me sick as hell.
Go Beyond plus Ultra Ball.
No, plus coronavirus apparently, dude. I mean, I went to the Ready Care, and as soon as I got there, the power went out, and they said they're not accepting patients. I went to another one. They locked their door and said, we're too busy. We're not taking any more patients. So I thought it was 2 days sleeping, puking, and pooing until I was actually at work today, and my computer locked up just from inactivity. And I went to turn it back on, and it popped up the date and the time in the corner, and I actually texted my wife and said, is it actually Thursday? I thought it was Wednesday. So I am not doing well, my friend. Not doing well at all. So this is going to be another one of those duck-centric episodes because I haven't done squat this week. I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, I texted you some stuff in delirious states, so I'm not even sure what I sent you at this point.
I got some of it in here. So
Good.
Don't worry.
So why don't you just kick us right off?
All right. So over the past week, we had Pokemon Day.
Pokemon
February
days.
27th. They saved up a lot. This is like one of the biggest Pokemon days we've had in a couple years, at least since I've been following Pokemon. And I was a little disappointed, actually. There's plenty of stuff, but like, in my opinion, nothing was super perfect.
It really is, unless they're having some kind of major release at the time. And we do have some major releases around Pokemon Day, but none of them were like something I was willing to get out of bed for.
Yeah, so let's just start it off with the what they added to Sword and Shield for Pokemon Day. There were Mewtwo raids.
Yes, and I'm very angry at how they handled that. And I'll let you go on first, see if you say anything about it while I cough up a storm.
So there was
Duck, my mic's muted. You keep going.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So they had Mewtwo raid, not just Mewtwo, but also the 3 Kanto starters were also available in raids, in like red raids, promoted raids like they do when they do events. And Mewtwo, I did a Mewtwo raid. I completed one. I defeated it.
Yeah.
It took about 2.5 hours of trying to get connected with good players, trying to coordinate when, because people are trying to take stuff that Mewtwo is already hitting super effective damage on, and when it gets 3 attacks, you're not going to survive that. So there's really only a couple Pokemon that were options to take into the raids, and it took forever to get people trying to use the correct Pokemon. And even then, if Mewtwo just decided to like single out one,
Yeah, screw that guy in particular.
in the raid, and it does. It would attack the same person 3 times. This is the first time I've ever felt like I needed to use healing items in a raid.
Wow. I didn't play it at all, but I saw some of the things that they weren't telling people about, and that was the fact that you can't catch the damn thing.
Well, they don't let you try.
Yeah.
They when you enter the raid, like try to join it, it'll say, you can't catch this Pokemon. Is that okay?
No, it's not okay. Not at all.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't just let you do that. I guess maybe because it's the legendary and they don't want you to have 100 Mewtwo's.
Maybe.
But, guess what? You just released Pokemon Home, so guess who has 100 Mewtwo's already?
Yeah. You with all your hacked shinies.
I released them.
Lie.
I did, honestly. You can even look at my Pokemon Home. It says I released a bunch of Pokemon.
All right. Well, go on with the raid. You end up getting it and beating it.
I beat it. I got about 20 extra large candies and 30 large candies.
Is that it? I mean, that's a lot for a raid. Don't get me wrong, but
that was a couple. There was a couple things,
seems like a lot of work
here and there. I know you could get. There was a chance to get ability capsules, but I did not get any. And even with an ability capsule, I don't think it was worth it. I could have just done 20 raids in the amount of time it took to do the one Mewtwo.
Yeah, really.
I could have gotten those candies. And even with an ability capsule, I'd rather grind out the BP than play something I can't control the way I couldn't control how the Mewtwo raid went.
That's very unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that you had such a bad experience with it.
I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm glad I can say I did it, but at the same time, it didn't feel rewarding enough.
Yeah, and Mewtwo, they're giving it away too easy now. Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
They're giving the encounters away too easy. Like it used to be with Mewtwo, it was, you get a one opportunity, that's it, done, and then.
Oh well, I mean that's one opportunity to catch him. Are you talking about like how in Let's Go, if you didn't catch it, you got to try again?
Yeah, in Let's Go. I mean, I know people that play Let's Go and people that play Pokemon Go that have slew of them. They have a slew of them. And now with Let's Go, you're able to import them. And then with Pokemon Go, as soon as it comes online around June or so, it's just going to be inundated.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Mewtwo still is the legendary Pokemon as far as I'm concerned. That's it.
Well, while we're talking about Mewtwo, let's talk about Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
Mewtwo Strikes Back again.
I watched it. Did you watch it?
My son did. I have not had an opportunity yet because I didn't want to get too close to him.
Gotcha. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad movie, but I don't think it was better than the original. They took out some songs, they took out some quotes, and the animation overall, like the Pokemon looked awesome, but the people looked awkward to me.
They looked goofy.
Very, very.
And well, that and I saw like a scene with Brock when they first got to Mewtwo's Island, and Brock was doing Brock things.
Yeah.
And it just looked goofy.
Yeah,
it's almost like somebody took and said, "Listen, you're a Full Sail University, and we want you to make a graduation project. So pick a movie, any animated movie, and we're going to give you a full school year to recreate it in CGI, movie magic." And that's kind of what it looks like to me.
The character models did grow on me. Like by the end of the movie, I wasn't thinking about it anymore. It was just, the transition from used to seeing it in 2D cartoons to seeing it in this new thing. So like, I don't like the people, the characters. I don't think that's the heaviest part, but like they took one of my favorite quotes out of the movie and they didn't have the song at the end of the movie where all the Pokemon are fighting.
What quote did they take out?
The one where Meowth is like,
interpreting?
Like he's like, hey, we share the same sky, the same clouds, the same stars. Maybe if we just
Ah,
focused on what was the same instead of what was different, then who knows.
yeah, they're
So that I love that quote. I think it was very forward thinking, and it was a quote that we can still apply today. So I don't know why they would take it out.
see now if there's one quote they had taken out that I actually really really uh it's relevant to my life, really, believe it or not. This sounds stupid. I've actually had to say this to my children before, and it's like one of those things. It sounds like that sounds like a philosopher said it.
Are you talking about Mewtwo's quote at the end?
Yeah, I see now the
That's in
circumstances.
there.
I see now the
Yeah,
circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
yeah. That quote's still in there.
Better be.
I would have thrown a fit. That's the best quote. The meow thing was the second best, but and then the whole brother my brother song when the Pokemon are fighting their clones. Yeah, that's not in there. It seemed like they tried to make it exactly like frame by frame the same movie until the very end, and then they just like made the action sequence at the end shorter. So I don't know if they just ran out of budget or what.
Or we don't want it to be as violent. I don't know.
I don't know, but that's what you watch the movie for. The end, that climax at the end, and they
It's like
made
going to
it
see
worse.
Avengers Endgame Part Two and not having that epic battle at the end.
Yeah, they
Thanos just gives up. He says, "You know what? You guys are right. Here you go. Here's
the
the gauntlet."
trainers also all had significantly less Pokemon. Like Brock only had Vulpix. I don't know why they chose. Maybe they didn't want to animate a full team of 6 for every trainer that was at Mewtwo's tower, but
It's weird. Wait, Vulpix
yeah.
isn't even like one he's known for, really.
I know. Like, where's his Onyx? Where's his Geodude? Where's his Zubat?
What'd Misty have?
Misty just had the Psyduck. I trying to remember if she had anything else with her, and I don't think she did. She might have had Goldeen or something.
So didn't she use the Staryu to get to the island? Or
No, I'm pretty sure it was Goldeen
okay,
that got her there. But I don't remember now.
yeah, I don't remember either, dude. I actually did see that movie at theaters.
I remember throwing a fit in the back of my parents' car because we drove past the movie theater and didn't watch it. And
I,
then my mom got it for me the day it came out on VHS.
See, I'm a little bit older than you, and
Yeah.
we were on a family vacation, which means we went to the next town over and got a hotel that had a pool. We were big rollers, man. But they had a dollar cinema next door, so my brother wanted to see it. So I'm like, I got a dollar. So we went over and we saw the movie at the dollar cinema in a mall. Now popcorn was like $7, but you know. But I never
Yeah.
got the card either. I still to this day
Oh,
I have never had the Mew
the
card.
ancient Mew card.
Nope,
Oh,
never had
dude,
one.
I got you.
You got me, bro.
I have multiples.
Nice.
I just been picking them up at regionals every time I see them on sale, like somebody selling them. So I have some packaged, some opened.
What are they now? Like a nickel?
I think they're like $10.
Oh, really? Oh, that's more than I
Yeah.
thought they'd be.
Well, if you go on Walmart.com, they have it listed for $800 for some reason.
Because somebody found one on the floor and they said, "Hey, slap a
Yeah,
barcode on this."
I guess. I mean, all the kids seem to think it's worth thousands of dollars,
It's so different.
right?
Just like these 24 karat gold ones I got from Burger King.
Yeah, those are. I have so many people like, hey, you know about Pokemon stuff? Are these worth anything? No, I'm
No.
sorry. They're like $20 if it's sealed.
If it's sealed, yeah. Otherwise,
Nope. Bye.
that's a cool GX counter, and
I,
that's a cool dice holder.
dude, I literally used the Charizard one as my GX counter for forever.
Did you use weird stuff for GX counters? I've seen you use magic cards. I've seen you use dinosaurs. I mean,
Yeah, I like to change it up a bit. There's a bit
yeah.
of flair you could add, and it's only gonna last until 2021.
What happens in 2021?
All the GX Pokemon rotate.
Yes, indeedy. But I wonder if we get a new marker then.
Maybe. We'll talk a little bit about that later.
We should talk a little bit more about that later, Duck. But continuing on.
So continuing on with the Pokemon Day news, the fabled Silhouette was finally revealed to be Zarude, the rogue monkey Pokemon.
Because that's what we needed. We needed another grass monkey Pokemon.
Yeah, it looks like Mojo Jojo.
It does. It does look like Mojo Jojo.
We don't have an image for those watching live or on YouTube.
I literally had no time to prepare.
Yep. So, unfortunately, but yeah, it's like a. I was reading up on Pokemon.com. They said it's like 5'11" and it weighs 175 pounds. But we got to see it next to Ash in the trailer for the new movie, and it's like 3 times the size.
But it's still a grass monkey.
It's a grass monkey. Yeah, it's grass dark type, which I think that was one of the predictions I made for its typing, but I don't remember for sure. I know I was definitely accepting grass type, and I thought dark type as well. I think I said dragon dark.
Why do we have so many damn monkeys?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously, half the stuff we get anymore is a damn monkey. I don't get it.
I don't know. They like monkeys. Somebody who designs Pokemon must like drawing monkeys.
Apparently. Somebody's got a pet monkey somewhere, and they're just trying to advocate monkey pethood.
Maybe they're trying to link the gap between Pokemon and humans and show
monkeys.
that the monkey Pokemon slowly evolved into humans.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, but whatever. Anyway.
I really don't know. Next is Red was finally added to Pokemon Masters.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have to change your pants when that came out. You were excited.
I was very excited. I woke up that morning. I logged in, took the bonus gems that they gave you for Pokemon Day celebration.
Turned it off and forgot about it.
A total of 29,000 gems saved up.
I wonder how many I have.
You probably got a good bit. I have not used any gems since after the first week the game came out.
I'm loading it up right now. I'm gonna find out.
So Red's a 10% chance.
Did you say 10%?
10% chance if you use the special banner for him. Tried once, didn't get it. Tried again, got him. Right. So I go over to the Steven banner because I like Steven too. So I did a couple pulls on Steven's side. I got Steven. So I go back over to Red. I get Red again, and then I was out of money. Well, out of gems. I did not spend any more than the original 10 when the game came out.
We're still at $10.
Still at $10, and I still have some of those premium gems left.
Gosh.
But yeah, I assumed everybody was pulling a bunch of 5 stars because I got so many from this pull. I mean, I did a lot of pulls, but I got at least one 5-star in every single draw I did. And I did 10 every time, like 10.
Sounds like you're starting to get my luck with the game.
I think so, because I talked to some other people that didn't have quite as much as I had saved up, but like they got like 1 5-star in all their pulls. So I'm like, what?
What?
So I was talking to somebody, and they were thinking that maybe there's a reason for that. Like maybe the game knows how long I've spent without, trying to get anything. So they're trying to give me more. That way I'm more prone to spend more money on it later.
That's actually quite possible, but I only have 17,840.
Scrub.
I know. Oh, maybe I should try to pull some while we're on chat here.
Yeah, dude. See if you get Red. Red is by far probably the best character they've ever added. Now I don't know the whole meta game that the people that go really really hard are going, but as far as from what I've played, Red is better than Blue. His passive ability is really good. It gives you a better chance of getting his Mega Evolution sooner, and the attacks deal massive damage. So definitely worth throwing on your team, and then just throwing 2 things to support him, and you'll probably win pretty much everything on auto battles.
Sweet. Oh, let's see. What else you got for us?
Next is the Pokemon of the Year poll. The results are in.
The results are in, folks, and the results show it's garbage.
Oh, is that what you think?
No. Go on.
Okay. So I'll just go down to 10. I'll start at number 10 and go down to number 1. You let me know if you're surprised, because I'm surprised. Maybe not by what's here, but what's missing. Okay.
Okay.
So, number 10 is Gengar.
Okay, I like Gengar well enough.
Gengar's pretty popular. It's always been, I'm always close to somebody who Gengar is their favorite, so that one's not too surprising. Number 9 is Gardevoir, one of my favorites. My number 3. Number 8 is Rayquaza, which I got some good friends who love Rayquaza as well. Garchomp, also not surprising. Did you get him?
I got a 5-star Hilbert.
Nice. Hold on, let me move my thing so I can see your screen. Number 6 was Sylveon.
Sylveon's still up there. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was my
Number 5.
Sylveon was my jam when I first started playing TCG.
Oh, I remember.
Yo, you hated it.
I remember the hour-long match we had. The first, I think it's the first day I met you.
Yeah. Oh, wait. What's this? I got it's a 3-star Cheryl.
Number 5 is Umbreon, which I'm pretty surprised that one's so high up here.
I don't know, dude. Everyone likes the evolutions, especially the dark one.
Number 4, Charizard, my personal favorite.
Charizard's never going to come out of the top 10 ever.
Number 3, Mimikyu.
Sweet.
Your favorite.
Absolutely.
Number 2.
Remember my mouse pad? Yeah. What's number 2?
Take a guess at number 2.
Mewtwo.
Lucario.
Lucario.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 1. What do you think?
Celebi?
Greninja.
Okay.
You two did not make top 10.
That's bizarre.
I have a feeling Greninja is the kids, like the show made Greninja so cool in the X and Y series.
Oh, was he big in the X and Y series?
Oh yeah, and it was the best animated series they've done. Like it was like watching real anime fights when the Pokemon battled. And then Greninja could transform into Ash Greninja, and all those fights were really cool.
Yeah, something about using your tongue as a scarf just kind of bothered me a lot.
Yeah, I liked Greninja. Like that's my favorite Gen 6 starter. But also when I realized that was his tongue, I was like, ew. But also it is still, it wasn't enough to knock him out of my favorite, one of my favorite Pokemon. I love Greninja. I love him competitively. I can't wait till he's added into Sword and Shield.
Well, I'm down to 2,840 sync gems, and I got no red. So
darn it.
That's life. Moving on. Yep. You see the disappointment in my eyes.
So that's it for Pokemon Day. We can jump into video game.
Happy Pokemon Day.
So this is one you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm a little confused at the rules. I looked up different rules for VGC, and I have no clue how this changed anything. So, unfortunately, I can't give that much.
You're not the only one, though. That's the thing. You're not the only person confused. At Oceania, Wolfie Glick was confused. He thought the rule was one way, and then they played it another way, and everybody.
You're talking about Collinsville Regionals. Oceania was.
Okay, Collinsville. I'm sorry, Collinsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Collinsville because next week's episode is going to be really cool, and that's all I'm going to tell you about it for now. Go on about Collinsville.
All right, so, I guess the timer in the rules for VGC, it says that the timer is on a 15-minute clock. Each player has 7 minutes of playtime, 90 seconds of team preview. And, that's about 15 minutes, right?
Abouts.
Well, in in season 3 of the video game, like the online
the rule set
matches,
the rule set that you have to, and those are the rule sets that you use during competitive play as well.
Right. It's a 20-minute timer on online play, Sword and Shield ranked battles are 20 minutes. VGC rules says 15 minutes.
Yeah, so it's both are officially from Pokemon,
Right.
and they said that
However-
UA will be using Battle Set 3. So it's kind of like, what?
At Collinsville, they set the timer to 20 minutes and not 15.
Yeah.
Here's the confusing part, though. With a 20-minute clock, each player still only has 7 minutes of playtime. So I
Okay.
don't know where the extra 5 minutes comes from.
Well, there was one of the professors that's in our group that put in a ticket to TCPI, the Pokemon Company International, for anybody else wondering. And this is the response he got in regards to it. It says, "Thanks for reaching out. This announcement was made by Tournament Center at our directive. We have recently received instruction that the 20-minute timer is intended to be in effect at any event locked via TCPI's specialized distribution consoles. This covers all regional championships in North America, Europe, and Australia, as well as international championships and worlds. The timer will continue to be 15 minutes at all other events, including all local level tournaments, except those held as side events at bigger events. Tournament organizers are not allowed to deviate from the rules documented unless explicitly instructed by us. We appreciate this isn't the cleanest way of communicating the change, nor is the timing ideal. However, this was the fastest way to ensure players at the regional championships that is coming this weekend have the information they need. Getting the information into their hands of players had to take the utmost priority. The rules document is also being updated. We thank you for your patience and apologize for the confused cause. Apologize for the confusion caused. We continue to take steps to try to improve and follow the flow of communication to players, and will take this into account in future updates. Sincerely, the Pokemon Company International Support Team."
I'm hearing this for the first time with you guys listening. What?
Exactly.
You can't post something on your website when you realize you just change it and everybody thinks the competition was held wrong?
Yeah, there's somebody's out of there. They made a mistake. They pushed out something wrong in the rule set, and they just don't want to admit it. That's what happened.
Yeah. Update the document.
Yeah, really.
Like, when you errata a card, you can't just start enforcing it at a tournament when I didn't know you errated it.
It's like, round 3. Hey, we're going to errata that Mew card. Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, it turns out you can play multiple Dedenne per turn.
Oh!
I just changed the rules, so I'm right.
And I'm a professor, so you have to believe me. I know I sent that to you.
Did you?
I could have sworn I did, but it doesn't matter. I may have been delirious. I don't know, dude. I told you, I'm rough right now.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, but that was ridiculous, and it's not even well written,
Yeah. So I don't know what it means to have a 15-minute timer or clock versus a 20-minute clock. I can't tell you the difference for that. I went and watched Oceania matches. They started with 7 minutes on each player's time, and then I went and watched Collinsville matches, and they also both started. They both started with 7 minutes on each tournament, even though one was on a 15-minute clock and one was on a 20-minute clock. So I have no idea what that timer means, and I've checked the rules, and that's confusing as well. So no clue.
So recently, TCPI took over all streaming for the most part. It seems too. It seems like most regional organizers are no longer be able to stream. So some of the favorite streams were actually done by companies, not the Pokemon Company,
no.
and they are taking over the majority of, if not all, of the streams going forward. So, like Top Hit, I believe, done some. They're not going to be doing them anymore. And there's a couple other ones that would do them for specific regionals.
I think Full Grip.
That was a big one.
And Limitless TCG also does the ones that are overseas. And there's another one too, and I can't recall their name, but like the one I can't remember the name, they're the best one.
Way to go.
I know, right?
I personally like the cameras from a production standpoint, just because that's my background of the TCPI. But their commentators are grating. Just the fact that they don't seem to. It's not the fact that they're bad at what they do. It's the fact that they don't feed them any information. You know, there's a ruling going on. They know what's going on. They're wearing the bloody headsets. Just radio and say, "Hey, this is the ruling that's going on right now. We're trying to figure this out." So let the people in the stands know instead of saying, "Well, we're going to stare at these people chatting silently for next 30 minutes, and then once, well, I guess we're going to start playing again." What the heck just happened?
Yeah.
And then you just have the long breaks in between. It's not a very exciting stream. Now, when the game's actually going on from a production point, they're spot on. But it's just the in between, and anytime there's a lull, it's just you want to strangle somebody, and you pop off stream. So it's not something it's indicative of keeping people engaged.
I usually have I'm playing a game on one monitor, and I got the stream up on the other monitor. Is usually how I watch Pokemon events.
Understandable. It really is. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Here's a news flash, folks. If you're watching any streamer you like on Twitch, if you don't want them to get the viewer to count, mute it. Honestly, if you're watching someone, you think you're doing a favor just by letting it be on in the background. If you mute their stream, they don't get it doesn't register as a viewer. So, and it can't be. It can actually detect if the window's minimized or behind another window. It has to be your active window. So, if you're trying to support somebody, and that's just FYI. Back to Pokemon.
Next, I just wanted to I don't want to get super, super deep into this, but the coronavirus has infected Pokemon as well as the rest of the world. And since this is a Pokemon podcast, I thought we should talk about it, but I don't think I've been hearing about it all over the place. I don't think this is the platform to discuss it. I just wanted to say, it sucks that it's impacted Japan bad enough for every Pokemon event in Japan in March has been canceled.
It has. Every Pokemon event in the country of Japan has been canceled. I don't know how that's going to affect them points-wise or what have you. Most people that are competitive players, they can overcome a month.
Most people already have their...
Yeah, at this point, most people have their points anyway. Let's face reality. Yeah. But
I just feel bad for those people that are actually grinding for it, though.
Yeah. And I work in public safety now, and I actually had to put out announcements about coronavirus so people would quit asking me for masks. Newsflash, folks, masks don't help. An N95 mask, it has to be fit tested. It has to be clean shaven. You have to have a particular facial structure for a particular mask. And guess what? Coronavirus isn't airborne. It's droplet borne. So that means every time you're touching your face, that's where it's coming from. So you don't want to get coronavirus? Wash your hands. Quit touching your mouth. Keep your fingers out your nose. Done. End of story.
Yeah. It's crazy. We were trying to sand a room at work, and the boss went out to grab some masks so we don't inhale drywall dust. Sold out. Every Home Depot in the city where I work is completely sold out of masks.
And you guys got quite a few home centers up there too. So, wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'll send you some.
But let's move into TCG.
TCG news.
Yep. So this is what I was alluding to earlier about maybe not GX or anything like that, but this is something new. In Japan sets in the summertime, it looks like it's going to be focusing on the legendary Pokemon. Eternatus was on the cover of this article. They're releasing a new type of card in it called an Amazing Rare, which is the rough translation for it. It's probably not going to be called that in English, but in Japanese it translates into Amazing Rare. and it's a card that's going to have powerful effects that you can only have one of in your deck. So there might be 10 different amazing rares in the set, but you're not allowed to have 10 of them. You're only allowed to have one.
So it's an Ultra Prism.
No, see, you could have 10 different Ultra Prisms in your deck. You can only have one amazing rare, even if they have different names.
Understood.
So it's more like an ace spec from the black and white times, where they had like Master Ball, they had Computer Search, Dowsing Machine. Those were all really good item cards, but you can only have one of them in your deck. You could not have Master Ball and Computer Search.
Oh, I didn't play back then. I wasn't aware of those.
Yeah, it's they just had such good support effects that it was just really good to have if you could have both of them. That's why Computer Search is still a $40 to $80 card to this day.
Everybody gets one.
Right. So this following part could be a little bit like lost in translation a bit, so we're not sure exactly how this is wording, but there's a ruling that states your opponent only takes one prize card when it gets knocked out. So that to me says that there's a reason I would assume that I would take more than one prize. So what if this is like a Pokemon V, but it has such crazy effects and abilities, and then I can only have one, but if you knock out this Pokemon V, it says V in the name, you still only take one prize. That's what I think it's going to be.
That just sounds convoluted and bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait till it comes out to figure out exactly what's going on here, but people are talking about it, so I figured I'd throw it in, and it's pretty interesting to me. And like, it's almost like an ace spec Pokemon is what I think this is going to be.
I mean, time will tell. I mean, hopefully we get some images soon so we can make our own translations.
Yeah, hopefully.
A lot of times when you see when people get the copies of the Japanese cards, they are, I've got to be first. I've got to be first. I've got to be first to get it out. I'll go to Google Translate.
And that's why when every time something like this is translated, we always say, this is the translation. Things change.
Absolutely. So never believe the first one that comes out, no matter how reputable the site is, because they're not the ones translating it. Google is.
It might not be anything like what I'm describing now, but that's the vibe I get from reading the article about the description.
It sounds completely OP, but
right. Well, we'll have to see what kind of effects these guys have. And we also got the entire set from Japan. What's it called? The Rebellious Onslaught or something like that.
It's got a really long name. It's very
Rebellious Crash.
Rebellious Crash, and it looks like a Team Yell logo.
Yeah.
It looks like Team Yell. So it's gonna be. I think you're gonna get a lot of Team Yell cards out of this one. It's gonna be very Marnie centric.
So in Japan's set, we got a couple new cards we haven't talked about yet. One being Capture Energy, provides colorless energy, and when you attach this Pokemon from your hand to one of your Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on the bench.
Say that again.
When you attach this card from your hand to one of your Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on the bench.
Okay, that's different.
This is the exact card I was talking about. That made me think, like, oh, they're gonna recreate the way they've been printing cards. I'm like, they're recreating Diamond and Pearl era. This card was around in Diamond and Pearl era.
What was it called at that point?
I don't remember what it was called then. I think it was called Friend Energy or something.
Hey! None of that. I'm the sick one. I'm the one coughing.
I'm talking more than usual, so my throat's
just throw up a sign. I can mute your mic.
Right? Okay. And then this one's probably not gonna be played much, but it has such an interesting effect that I really wanted to talk about it.
Go on.
It's gonna be Dan. It's a supporter card. The artwork is one of those generic trainers that participates in the Galar tournament. If you redo it, every once in a while you get trainers that aren't gym leaders.
Yeah, it's just every once in a while it's like, who the what? Why?
Yeah, it's just random people in there.
Yeah.
So it's Dan. Its effect is draw 2.
Wait a minute, is Dan the guy that helps you at the challenges?
Oh, actually, yeah. That might. I think that's
He's the one
guy.
that instructs you on how to get to the gym. I'm almost positive.
Hold on, let me.
I don't even know why that's in my head. I am almost positive that's what the character's name is. Because I just remember seeing this goofy looking dude and his has a goofy name. But I think he's the one that whenever you would enter a gym and you'd have to do their goofy little challenge, like move the sheep across the field.
Right.
And I think he's the one that explains it to you. Because I remember facing him in the Galar tournament.
Okay. Yeah. So that's probably who Dan is.
Okay, go on.
So
What's Dan gonna do for us?
Dan's gonna let you draw 2 cards.
Oh boy, thanks, Dan.
Then you play rock paper scissors with your opponent. If you win,
Oh bull crap!
draw 2 more cards. Yeah.
We're playing this crap again.
I hope you're ready for pre-release because I really hope they put Dan in the evolution packs.
What was that stupid card where they had you? Okay, now you have to guess which card's in my hand. What was that?
Blaine's quiz show.
Blaine's quiz show.
You have to say the name of an attack of one of your cards, and they have to try to guess it right. If they get it right, they draw 4 cards, and if you get it right, you draw 4 cards. I wonder if you're going to be allowed to play this at Worlds because I don't think it's called rock paper scissors all around the world.
Well, can't play Blaine.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Remember, they actually banned Blaine's quiz show right before Worlds.
Yep.
And
There's too many things that can get lost in translation.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, one of our contributors and friends of the podcast, Cody, is in chat, and he's saying Instaban, and I fully agree because that was Blaine. I think it actually was banned before it hit the market, wasn't it? We actually have, it's one of our earlier episodes that was titled like Blaine's Quiz Show or something like that, where we discuss it. I just don't remember. It was literally like the 4th or 5th episode.
Yeah, because it was right before Worlds, and we started the podcast in like July or June.
Yeah, it was something like that, because then we went to Worlds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was it for TCG. I really wanted to talk about Dan because of how ridiculous of a card it is.
I hate that stuff. It just... I'm sorry.
Fun.
We're all...
It's fun.
So what do you do on the weekends as a 36-year-old man? Well, I like to play a children's card game. And I get on my Nintendo Switch and I beat up children with imaginary animals in my mythical animal fight club. That's already too hard to pitch. Now we're going to say, I'm going to play my cards, not my blue eyes, and then I'm going to go rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I won, and now I'll draw 4 more cards.
No, you activated my trap card.
Every time you draw a card, I absorb the soul of one of your friends.
But he's not really my friend. That means you have the soul of the Pumpkin King.
You don't stand a ghost of a chance.
But there's a ghost in it.
Oh yeah, put a ghost in it.
Yes, can you actually imagine the finals at the World Championships coming down to a game of rock, paper, scissors?
I'm sure there will be articles on the premium websites written about how to predict what your opponent's going to choose when they do rock, paper, scissors.
I want to see the Pokemon World Championships decided by a game of rock, paper, scissors, damn it.
It literally says in the rule book you're not allowed to do rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first because it's not...
We're not deciding who go first. We're deciding who wins.
Like, they actually put rock, paper, scissors in the rules because it's not a 50-50 chance. There's actual strategy involved. So you're not allowed... It doesn't count as a coin flip.
And yes, that is rock, paper, scissors is where I draw the line. A line must be drawn in the sand. This further and no further.
Oh my goodness. So Pokemon Go is back in the headlines.
Chat is shushing me. Go on, Pokemon Go. Give the viewers what they want.
Pokemon Go's borders are whack. They don't know who's in what country. They don't know where to send their regional variants. They're just stuck. Apparently, they're using maps or borders for territories that haven't been the same since World War II.
Yeah, it's mostly European stuff, and they've. I don't know where they got their map information from because it is severely outdated. There's countries that don't exist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's always been that way or if there was some kind of a file that got overwritten with the wrong file from somewhere else or what have you, but it's causing a lot of problems in Europe.
Yeah, I think there's a place where they thought it was owned by Italy, but it was actually owned by I can't remember the country in the article. Country that borders Italy, and so the city had the wrong raid day. And then when they fixed it and realized they were wrong, they just took the raid day away from that city. So now that city misses out on a whole raid day because they have no idea, what country that city belongs to.
See, in Pokemon Go, whenever you collect the Pokemon, at least it did. I haven't looked at it recently. You used to be able to scroll down and you see where you caught it. Like it said the town. And I spent some time in China, and Pokemon Go is banned in China, so there was never any spawns. I still turned it on every couple of days just because, why not? And once I got to Hong Kong, we could go into trying to explain the differences between China and Hong Kong, and I don't know if I can even explain it, having people from the country explain it to me. But it does work in Hong Kong. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time there, and I didn't turn it on until I was in the airport. So I only got one thing in Hong Kong, and that was a Staryu. And that's the only Pokemon I've ever renamed for purposes other than evolution, and I named it Hong Kong Star. They took it away from me.
What?
At the bottom where it says where it was caught, it used to say Hong Kong, China. And I thought that was cool. That's cool. I went and checked it one day to show somebody, and it said unknown. Those bastards took it away from me.
That's weird. And the only other piece of Pokemon Go news is that over December, January, and February, Giovanni had Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos respectively, and I thought that was where it was going to end.
Not so much.
Well, guess what Giovanni has if you do the Special Team Rocket research in March?
What does he have, Duck?
Entei!
Entei! Why?
I bet you he's going to have Raikou or Suicune.
Probably. Okay, why not?
Maybe this is how it's going to be for the for the next year or two, where he'll have the trios from each region.
It stands to reason.
Each corresponding months. Now,
I'd like to say, that makes sense, but really it doesn't. But whatever.
Giovanni is not associated with the Hoenn region, or he's not associated with any of the other regions until you get to Alola. So I don't know if he's actually going to have.
Is he really associated with Alola?
Just that he went in the alternate timeline where he's successful at catching Mewtwo, he shows up there with all the other leaders. And I actually just finished the Ruby and Sapphire chapter of the Pokemon comics, and he did go and get the Ruby and the red orb and the blue orb and use them to power up Deoxys. So he was actually there at the end.
Okay, why not?
I'm currently reading about Mewtwo and Red fighting Deoxys and Giovanni. It's pretty cool.
Sometimes I realize just how pathetic my life is.
Why?
I don't know. Go on.
Pokemon Masters.
We already covered Pokemon Masters.
Yeah, about Red. But no, that was for Pokemon Day. They're also gearing up for a big 6-month celebration. They're going to be adding they're going to be adding a bunch of characters at once for that. I've seen Dawn and Turtwig, which I thought was weird. And Lily and Clefairy, and Wally and Gallade.
I mean, I know some people are saying that, this person, it doesn't make sense for this person to be with this Pokemon. Time's passed. They're not saying it's that they're being transported out of their game to this island. They're saying this is later in life, so maybe it's a new Pokemon.
All right, and like you also don't know the canon that they're pulling from. Like, which starter did Red get? Sometimes he has a Charmander, sometimes he has a Venusaur.
Yeah.
Sometimes Blue has Charizard, sometimes Blue has Blastoise.
It all depends.
Exactly.
Now, they may have broken that tradition when you get to like Sword and Shield now, because it's a Wooloo.
Yeah.
But okay.
So like based on the anime, you would think Dawn should have Piplup, but we already have Barry and Piplup, which means the player character from Diamond and Pearl would have started with Chimchar, leaving.
Can we stop pretending there's only one of every species? Seriously, there's.
Oh, you mean they just caught it?
Yeah.
They still have a Pokemon that's associated with them. And also, over the weekend, I brought up, like, it's weird that they did Blue and Pidgeot. They did Blue and Pidgeot before they did Blue and Blastoise. And my buddy looked up Blue's teams throughout all the canon. And Blue has Pidgeot on every single one of his teams. And that's the only consistent Pokemon 100% of the time. So I guess I'm in the wrong, and it makes more sense for him to have Pidgeot.
For a quarter. Never mind, I'm not going to say it. That's investigative reporting right there. That's what that is, Duck. That is investigative reporting. Get that man a paycheck in the form of Chicken McNuggets.
I'd be satisfied with that. The only thing else I want to talk about is a couple of weeks ago we brought up the new Battle Arena decks they were talking about.
Yes, they look spectacular. At least they did.
They were finally revealed, and they're simply replacing the old Versus decks.
Yeah, that's really all they are.
I'm sure they're going to be probably standard cards from now on, and simply better decks. Instead of coming out in twos, they'll come out here and there. Trainer Toolkit, that's what it's called.
Well, it looked like there was going to be two separate things. It looked like there was going to be something for leagues to help people get started. And that's what we are really hoping for, because that's what Magic the Gathering does.
Yeah.
But I have yet to see those materialize.
Yeah, that would be nice. But
it is what it is. And we'll just have to deal with what we got. And theme decks are still a very appropriate way to start, and that's still how I'd encourage everyone to start. Get your theme decks and play with them. And sometimes there's very beneficial cards in there you need as staples anyway, so get a theme deck.
Yeah, when they do that, the theme decks become $50 though. Sealed.
Anyway, what else you got for us? Anything else?
That's it.
That's horrible, Duck.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt like saying it and seeing what kind of reaction I get from you.
I worked hard on the list.
You did, and you did it in... Well, I don't know what I contributed, to be honest with you, because I was delirious.
You contributed some.
I did? Oh, yeah. Good. I'm proud of me. Because I was delirious as hell. I was going to call Cody and say, hey, you want to be on the podcast? Which would have been funny as hell, because you and him would have been on the podcast. I would have been producing... And God only knows what would have happened, because there might have been a picture of Ash on the screen. I don't know. But we are gearing up for a very big episode next week, I hope. We do have an interview coming up. I'm not going to say with who, just in case it falls through, because every time I mention someone's going to be on the podcast, it takes at least 4 tries before they actually show up. Looking at you, Cody. And what? Tell me I'm wrong.
One guarantee. No, you're right about the nobody, like, you know, how hard it is to get a guest. But one thing we can guarantee next week is that I will be reviewing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Super Deluxe DX or whatever it's called.
Super Deluxe, Ultra Mega, Derpazar Edition.
I have the day off tomorrow, so I'll be picking it up, early morning and playing it the way I play games. So
obsessively?
I may or may not have it beat by the time we record on Monday.
Dude, it's a short game. You'll have it done.
I've been watching speedrunners do it in about 45 minutes. So
you'll have it done before I get home from work.
Yeah, I might not rush through it. I'm gonna enjoy the game.
Well, we did have a second stream planned for Friday. I'm gonna have to talk to you here off stream about that, see if that's gonna happen or not. And we also have that'd actually be our third. Our second is a recording that we are going to be doing here, hopefully very, 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 very soon, with our newest additions to the Mount Moon crew. And we'll keep you apprised of that on our social media. If you please help us by following us on there. If you go on Facebook, just at Mount Moon Podcast or at @the_Raspberry01, which is the same as my Twitch page. And you can also look up the Blue Duck Gold Duck. That is Blue Duck Gold Duck without the E on Twitter and Twitch. We have a Discord. If you could watch us on our live stream on Twitch, you can see the link below the channel. And if you just look up the Mount Moon Crew on YouTube, you can find us. And all of our podcasts do get uploaded there. Sometimes not right away, but they are right away available the very next day on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Did I miss anything, Duck?
I don't think so.
My G Fuel in my water bottle is kind of perking me up a little bit. And no, I'm not sponsored yet, G Fuel. Maybe you should get on that.
I know a guy, actually.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
I know a guy, too. His name's Duck. All right. So that all being said, folks, Duck, get us out of here.
All right, guys. Until next time, just remember, if it's too good to be blue, it's probably gold.
Have a week, folks.
Just because your card is magic, you think you're safe because you killed my life orb. Baby, do you dare to not flinch? Cause I'm coming at you like a dark pulse. I know you're gonna throw. You're gonna throw a storm. But I got that lucky chance. There's no critical hits.